Praise be to Allah. Firstly, consensus ijmaa is one of the important sources of legislation that must be followed. There are several definitions of consensus ijmaa. The favored view is that of as-Subki, may Allah have mercy on him, who defined it as follows. It is when there is unanimous agreement among the scholars of the ummah after the death of Muhammad, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, during any era, on some particular matter. End quote from al-Jaami. Annotated by Wali ad-Deen al-Iraaqi, which is also known as al-Ghayth al-Haami. Page 485. There is a great deal of definitive evidence from the Qur'an and Sunnah for the fact that consensus constitutes binding proof. We have explained some of it previously in the answer to question No. 201,682. For example, Allah, may he be exalted, says interpretation of the meaning, and whoever opposes the messenger after guidance has become clear to him and follows other than the way of the believers, we will give him what he has taken and drive him into hell, and evil it is as a destination. And Nisa 4:115. Ibn Hazm, may Allah have mercy on him, said, whoever goes against it, that is, consensus, after coming to know of it, or after proof has been established on the basis of consensus, is deserving of the warning mentioned in the verse. End quote from Maratib al-Ijma, by Ibn Hazm, page 7. Al-Qadi Abu Ya'la, may Allah have mercy on him, said, consensus constitutes binding proof with which one should comply, and it is haram to go against it. It is not possible for the ummah to agree on error. End quote from al-Udafi Usul al-Fiqh 4:1058. Secondly, we have not come across anyone who mentioned the first consensus that occurred in Islam, or the first one to narrate such a thing. We have stated above that consensus is when the scholars agree on a particular issue after the death of the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him. However, during his lifetime, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, consensus did not constitute proof. Al-Amidi, may Allah have mercy on him, said, the consensus of those who were alive at the time of revelation did not constitute proof at the time of revelation, according to consensus. Rather, consensus became binding proof after the death of the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him. End quote from Al-Aqam by Al-Amidi 109. Based on that, it may be said that the first consensus that occurred after the death of the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, was the consensus of the Sahaba, may Allah be pleased with them, on the necessity of appointing a caliph, after the death of the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him. Therefore the Muhajirin and Ansar met in the Saqifa of Banu Sa'idah for that purpose, before the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, was buried. Then they agreed to appoint Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, as caliph. Among the first examples of consensus after that was the agreement of the Sahaba on fighting the apostates, after some initial objection on the part of Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, but then Allah opened his heart and caused him to feel at ease with the decision of Abu Bakr, and the Sahaba agreed on that, without any dissent. Imam Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, may Allah have mercy on him, said, Allah, may he be glorified and exalted, praised the Muhajirin and Ansar, and the earliest Muslims. The Quran speaks highly of the Muhajirin and Ansar in many places, and praises those who were present at Bay'at ar-Ridwan, when the Muslims affirmed their allegiance to the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, at al-Hudaybiyah. Allah, may he be glorified and exalted, says interpretation of the meaning, certainly was Allah pleased with the believers when they pledged allegiance to you, O Muhammad, under the tree. Al-Fat H 48:18. These people whom Allah praised agreed to appoint Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, as their leader. They called him Khalifat Rasul Allah, the successor to the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, and swore allegiance to him, rallying behind him and affirming his virtue, for he was the best of the Sahaba in the qualities that are required for a person to be a leader, such as knowledge, asceticism, wisdom, leadership abilities, and so on. End quote from Al-Ibana fi Usul ad-Diyana, page 66. And he, may Allah have mercy on him, said, what confirms the fact that Abu Bakr's appointment as caliph was based on a strong foundation is the fact that all the Muslims rallied behind him and accepted his leadership. Later on, we see that Ali and Al-Abbas swore allegiance to him and agreed to accept his leadership. Therefore his leadership, after the death of the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, was based on the consensus of the Muslims. It is not appropriate for anyone to say that what was in the hearts of Ali and al-Abbas concerning the appointment of Abu Bakr as caliph was something other than what they showed. If that argument was valid, then it would be almost impossible to establish consensus. The same argument could be used with regard to any consensus of the Muslims, but that would lead to the invalidation of the idea of consensus as binding proof, because Allah, may He be glorified and exalted, has not obliged us to know what is hidden in people's minds when it comes to the matter of consensus, rather He has obliged us to go by what people appear to be. Therefore consensus and agreement on the appointment of Abu Bakr as Siddiq as caliph did indeed occur. End quote from Al-Ibana, page 66. Imam Abu Uthman as-Sabuni, may Allah have mercy on him, said, the scholars of Hadith confirmed the validity of Abu Bakr's appointment as caliph after the death of the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, because he was chosen by the Sahaba. They were unanimously agreed on that, and they all said, the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, was pleased that he should lead us in our religious matters prayers, therefore we are pleased for him to lead us in our worldly matters. In other words, the Prophet, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, appointed him to lead the people in the obligatory prayers when he was sick, which is their religious affairs, so we accept him as the successor of the Messenger, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, with regard to our worldly affairs. When they said, the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, put you ahead of us, so how could we put you back? What they meant was, the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, put you ahead to lead us in prayer when he was sick, and we prayed behind you on his orders, so how could we put you back after he put you forward? The Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, spoke highly of Abu Bakr when he was alive, which indicated to the Sahaba that he was the most deserving of being appointed caliph after him. Hence they agreed to rally behind him, and that was to their own benefit, and they gained honor and victory through him. End quote from Aqidat as-Salaf wa Ashab al-Hadith, page 290. We shall mention here the story of how Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, swore allegiance to Abu Bakr as Siddiq on the first day. Ibn Kathir, may Allah have mercy on him, said, Al-Hafiz Abu Bakr al-Bayhaqi said, Abu al-Hasan, Ali ibn Muhammad ibn Ali al-Hafiz al-Asfarayini informed us. Abu Ali al-Husayn ibn Ali al-Hafiz told us. Abu Bakr Muhammad ibn Ishaq ibn Khuzaymah and Ibrahim ibn Abi Talib told us. Bandar ibn Bashar told us. Abu Hisham al-Maksumi told us. Wuhayb told us. Dawood ibn Abi Hind told us. Abu Nadra told us, from Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, who said, the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, passed away, and the people, including Abu Bakr and Umar, gathered in the house of Sayyid ibn Ubadah. The spokesman of the Ansar stood up and said, do you know that the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, was one of the Muhajirin, and his successor is one of the Muhajirin, and we are the Ansar, helpers, of the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, and we will be the Ansar, helpers, of his successor as we were his helpers. Umar ibn al-Khattab stood up and said, your spokesman has spoken the truth. If you had said something other than this, we would not have accepted that. And he took the hand of Abu Bakr and said, this is the right man, so swear allegiance to him. Umar swore allegiance to him, and the Muhajirin and Ansar swore allegiance to him. Then Abu Bakr ascended the minbar and looked at the people, and he did not see az-Zubair. So he called for az-Zubair, and he came. Abu Bakr said, you are the son of the paternal aunt of the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, and his disciple. Do you want to cause division among the Muslims? He said, there is nothing to worry about, O successor of the Messenger of Allah. Then he stood up and swore allegiance to him. Then Abu Bakr looked at the people, and he did not see Ali, so he called Ali ibn Abi Talib when he came. Abu Bakr said, you are the son of the paternal uncle of the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, and his son-in-law. Do you want to cause division among the Muslims? He said, there is nothing to worry about, O successor of the Messenger of Allah. Then he stood up and swore allegiance to him. Abu Ali al-Hafiz said, I heard Muhammad ibn Ishaq ibn Khuzaymah say, Muslim ibn al-Hajjaj came to me and asked me about this hadith, so I wrote it down for him on a piece of paper and I read it to him. This hadith is worth a badana, a valuable camel, indeed it is worth a badra, sack of money. End quote from Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya by Ibn Kathir, 5269. A badra is a big sack full of money. It was said that it is 1,000 or 10,000 dirhams, or 7,000 dinars. Al-Mu'jam al-Wasi, page 43, Al-Qamus al-Mu'j, page 444. Then Ibn Kathir narrated a report about another oath of allegiance that Ali swore after the death of Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her. He said, this oath of allegiance that was sworn by Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, to Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him after the death of Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her, was in confirmation of the reconciliation between them, and it was secondary to the oath of allegiance mentioned above, that was sworn on the day of a Saqifa, as was narrated by Ibn Khuzaymah and classed as Sahih by Muslim Ibn al-Hajjaj. Ali did not keep his distance from Abu Bakr during these 6 months. Rather, he used to pray behind him, and he was present when Abu Bakr used to meet with some of the senior Sahaba in order to seek their advice concerning some issues. He was also willing to ride with him on a campaign to Dhul Qasa. In Sahih al-Bukhari it says that Abu Bakr, may Allah be pleased with him, prayed. Also a few days after the Messenger of Allah, blessings and peace of Allah be upon him, died. Then he went out of the mosque and found al-Hasan ibn Ali playing with some boys. He carried him on his shoulder and started saying, may my father be sacrificed for the one who looks like the Prophet and does not look like Ali. And Ali smiled at this joke. But when this second oath of allegiance occurred, some narrators thought that Ali had not sworn allegiance to Abu Bakr before that, so they denied that the first oath of allegiance had happened. But if someone confirms that something happens, that takes precedence over the report of someone who says that it did not happen, as we have mentioned and explained above. And Allah knows best. End quote from Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, 5307, and Allah knows best.